This is home for me.
Back home from Atlanta, Georgia, where she now lives, Dr. Elizabeth Thompson is in front of 333 East 181st Street, also known as Twin Parks Northwest, where she grew up for a time as a child. On the morning of January 9th, though, it was the scene of a deadly inferno that touched off a little before 11 a.m. after a malfunctioning space heater ignited, taking the lives of 17 people, with 8 of them children.
It just devastated me to see some places that where we live, the devastation. So we really had to do something.
As executive director of Making a Way Housing in Atlanta, Georgia, that helps at-risk families impacted by disasters recover, she wanted to do the same for the Bronx. After reaching out to a longtime friend, Andy King, volunteers came in to help unload these trucks and hand supplies out to those lined up. She was joined by her husband, Rodney Bowles.
We actually do a lot of giveaways on a weekly basis in Atlanta, so why not? It just kind of happened to hit home, so we decided to pack it.
This means that we're actually taking one step forward after taking so many steps back, and it's honestly an honor to be able to serve the community, and it's a grace of God to be able to have an abundance of resources to give them and to serve for them.
Among the volunteers were Naquawn Hallback, who heads Easy Living Shelter for Youth, and Shanequa Charles, executive director of Miss Abby's Kids.
To the sister that came all the way from Atlanta, to all of the people in the organizations that, are bearing the cold, to all of the families who need love in this moment and compassion in this moment. I'm really grateful to be able to be a part of this.
With many in the building from the Gambian community, Imam Musa Kabba from Masjid ur-Rahma Mosque, where many of those who perished from this community worshipped, was also there.
We thank them. We will never forget them.
A lot of people have given food and clothing, which is so necessary, but the one thing that everyone really truly needs, how do we clean up the smoke? How do we clean up, the bathrooms? How do we clean up the walls?
Along with Twin Parks Northwest, Dr. Thompson also provided cleaning supplies outside North Bronx Seventh-day Adventist Church on Bronxwood Avenue and 218th Street.
Helps people in the community who may not be able to afford these luxuries, from Gatorade to Dove soap.
I see just their presence here this morning, at our church as an act of God by itself.
When this started, there were only a handful of people out here in front of the Seventh-day Adventist Church here on Bronxwood Avenue. Now over 100, taking advantage of the generosity of a former Bronxite now in Atlanta. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Mukoko.